I got here a 03 Chevy Avalanche. Customer complaint is it's a crank no start. So step number one, what I do is, they say there's no spark, they already replaced the crank sensor, but I like to start from the beginning. So turn the key on, and I have the data pulled up on my scan tool for RPM, and we're gonna crank it. Okay, so we definitely have an RPM signal. That means the crank sensor is working. So I'm going to shoot some brake clean in the intake to see if it starts. Alright, so I got the intake off. Spray some brake clean in. Now I'm going to try to start it. And still absolutely nothing. So now we're going to go after spark, because it means there might not be fuel either, but he says there is, so we'll trust him for now because it's not going to make a difference. I'm going to first chase spark because there's clearly no spark, because it should have started. Even if there's no injector pulse, it still should have started. Alright, so I got here a diagram pulled up. Now here's our coils. So we're going to, let's say, this is number 1 coil. So let's get so I can read what this says. So we got the ignition feed, which is on the pink wire. That's going to come from this injector 1 fuse, which splits up. It goes to, it's probably odds and evens, I'm assuming. Okay, that's going to be the power, and the ground is going to go on the second pin, a black wire, and that all gets grounded, all the coils. Where does that get grounded? Is it the same one? G102 and G104, so there's 2 grounds also. So it's probably not a power and ground issue. Alright, let's go look at these power and grounds. Alright, so I have key on, and I have a 4 amp test light in the power and the ground, and test light's not lit up, so we're either missing our power or our ground. So if that's this is our power. Let's touch it to actual ground right here. There we go. So we have our power, but we do not have our ground. So just to prove theory, I'm gonna run a ground wire to right here, tap it over here, jump it to ground, and this car should start. And then we'll go back and find where we're missing the ground. All right, so I got a piercing probe into the black wire over there, which is the ground. Now let's put a test light over here. And does not light up, so we have absolutely no ground here. So now I'm going to get a jumper wire, jump this to right here, and this car should start. Alright, here I got a jumper wire, put that in over here, and put the other side right over here. And now let's try to start the car. So here goes. Car starts right up. So we know we have a bad ground. Now, I'm gonna have to find where this ground is. The car's not running great, but that's probably because either the other ground's also bad, and it's only running on 4 cylinders, but we're gonna have to hunt it down right now. Alright, so here we got number 5 is G104, so we gotta go after that one. It looks like there's a bulk going through it, connecting 5 and 7. engine ground strap. Now looking at this, the engine ground strap, it looks like I can follow it down there. I can't tell if it's actually under the car or not. Seems like it's on top of the engine, but it feels terrible. It's nice and corroded. Here's another one corroded fully off. So, I'm trying to get a light down there, see if I can see anything. Alright, the other ground is G102. And that's number 4. Which seems like it's by the engine, behind the power steering. These I've seen go bad a lot. What's 5? Negative battery terminal. Alright, so I gotta check this one also. Let me first check on the other side, see if there's no ground. I'm assuming there's not, because I'm assuming it would run on 4 cylinders if there is. Alright. If we hit a ground, it lights up. And the black is the last guy. Right there. And there is a ground on this side. So this side should have spark. Let me try it with a big test light. Let me turn the key on. Alright, key's on. And it doesn't. Let me just check if it's a ground issue. Let's move this ground cable to somewhere else. Alright, so this is a ground right here. And it lights up. Okay, so we just didn't have good ground. So this has a good power, but not enough of a good ground to light a test light. So this ground's also not good. Alright, so we have 2 bad grounds. I'm gonna fix the easy one first. Let's go down to it. Let's look at it. Alright, so I got down to this ground over here. It seemed okay. So I'm starting to think, and the other side also doesn't have ground. They both don't have ground. So I'm starting to think that it must be somewhere in line that connects them both. So if we look over here, there's a splice S156, and this is S157. And if we go to the master splice list, 156 is before, it's about 2 inches away from C148 breakout. And if we go to the connector list, C148, engine harness to ignition coil harness in the engine compartment on driver's side valve cover. 7 cavities. I'm assuming it's this right here. 2, 3, 4. This is the valve cover. Is this 7? 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So right around here, there should be a splice. An inch away. Be right here. Let's see, this goes up here. And this goes into this thing, so one of these got to be a ground. So let's disconnect this. This right here is a ground coming from, yeah, pin 4. And now let's see if we have a ground here. No, we don't. So we know the ground is more downstream. Let's do the wiggle test. Alright. We'll plug this in. So it got to be the ground on the bottom over there. Just had a really hard time getting to it. I was able to reach it and tug on it. It didn't break. Alright. I'm going to show the shop. Tell them what to fix. I'm pretty sure that this diagram's wrong because somehow when I give ground to one, they all get ground. So either it's giving ground to the splice, but they're in two completely different spots. So what I'm going to do is, I told the shop to look at, they said they looked at that ground already in the back and it was good. So they're going to look at this ground, and if not, he's just going to wire in right here at the ground, and then the truck runs fine. It's an 03, you know what I mean? It's already a rust bucket. So they're fine doing that. Alright, thanks for watching.